Our theme this month is the Art of Mindfulness. And today's topic is Be Here Now. So in this month's edition of the Science of Mind magazine, and there are no more left here, but you can certainly get one in a number of different places, and if you're interested in doing that, I can let you know where. But there are several articles in this month's edition centered around the topic known as mindfulness. And as I mentioned last week in the talk titled Minding the Store, it caused me to wonder what the word mindfulness actually means to different people. So this month, our Sunday talks and our midweek gatherings, which you heard both John and Arliss mention earlier, are centered around the messages from the Science of Mind magazine. Hence the theme, the Art of Mindfulness. So, as I mentioned, the title of the talk today is Be Here Now, and our focus is on the observation and awareness from the article by Alfred James in this magazine. There's so many facets to the concept of being mindful. And as always, in our study of metaphysics, we begin right here with ourselves. As always, we must begin with the recognition and development of what is beautiful, appealing, of significance and quality in ourselves. And although there are some unique qualities of observation as compared to awareness, which also has some unique qualities of its own, the two are really mutually dependent on each other. One without the other is like faith without action. You might remember that quote, faith without action. Each serves a unique function, and each requires the other to be a complete function. Today's daily guide, and you've already heard Kim share with you the affirmation from the day for today's guide. But this daily guide is a wonderful example of what I'm talking about here in terms of observation and awareness. Julie talks about the presence within as she describes that what we want to perceive around us, we must cultivate first in ourselves. That's not a new message for us in Science of Mind. We must be what we wish to see. Being reminded of it in a variety of different ways, including the concept of cultivate in ourselves, is always kind of a boost toward that end. So here are the examples that Julie uses in today's reminder of the presence within. We cannot expect our country to live in peace when there's a war waging in our inner selves. Demanding fairness is incongruent if we're putting ourselves down in the experiences of our lives. When we say one thing and we do another, we're out of integrity. When we want to experience tranquility and calm, we cannot find it by harboring fear, anger, or judgment. So first we must observe these and other functions in ourselves, followed by our own awareness of how we presently express them. Let me say that again. Observe these functions in ourselves, followed by our awareness of how we presently express them. And then we can begin to support the process of mindfully nurturing the divine qualities that support us in expressing them in a peaceful, fair, calm, loving way. Observation and awareness, then, as in the case of so many things you hear in this room on Sunday, in classes during the week, at our midweek gatherings, Wednesday here in Waikoloa, Thursday in Waimea, observation and awareness always begin from within. In order to develop the blueprint or the plan for being the quality we wish to see. You know, Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote dozens and dozens of books of audio and video programs. He did this on an ongoing basis from the mid to late 1960s through 2015 in the field of self-development. And he shares some of his observations and his revelations in this little book titled 10 Secrets for Success and Peace. Any of you familiar with this book? Well, maybe some of you will choose to try being familiar with this book. It's little, but it's mighty. And here are some of those observations from him. First of all, have a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. Number 2, you can't give away what you don't have. Number 3, you cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. And incidentally, that's a quote from Albert Einstein. Here's one more. Treat yourself as if you already are what you'd like to become. Treat yourself as if you already are what you'd like to become. These are such powerful ideas, simply stated. Simple to use as an affirmation, simple to use as an introduction into your meditation, simple to journal about, to write that into your journal and then let the free flow of consciousness follow and see where it takes you. And incidentally, those are only some of his offerings. I only gave you 4. There's 6 more in the book, in case you're interested. And here's another fascinating observation penned by Reverend Dr. Robert Dean, who is the Professional Education Director for Centers for Spiritual Living out of our home office. Reverend Bob, in his article in this month's Science of Mind magazine, offers a prayer titled, I am mindful of the presence of Spirit. Another wonderful affirmation. I am mindful of the presence of Spirit. And in this, he says, and I quote, when I think of those I would call my enemies, I am mindful that they too are created of the same stuff and by the same power as I am. I choose to be mindful of the truth, goodness, and love within them. When I look into myself and see the confusion, the conflict, the chaos sometimes, I am mindful that I am an expression of an infinite power that is never confused or lost or in chaos. My way is to be mindful of the presence of Spirit within me and mindful of the presence of Spirit everywhere around me. And David Alexander, Reverend Dr. David Alexander, who is the community spiritual leader of Centers for Spiritual Living in Lake Oswego, Oregon, and also is the immediate past president of our international organization, shares with us that one of the examples of awareness for him is the use of what we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. He explains that prayer in any form focuses the awareness of the one praying into a different state of consciousness. The question is, where does your prayer focus your attention? Or, in the words of Ernest Holmes, where is the tendency of your thought? That requires awareness in and of itself, doesn't it? What am I thinking? What am I saying? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? Our minds, David says, are in constant motion of thinking and processing. So why not add to that ceaseless motion the awareness that everything you're observing is an expression of the infinite? And then add the awareness that this infinite connection includes you as you go about your daily affairs. Not just when you're in meditation, not just when you're in prayer, not when you're sitting here alone or in class, but in every moment of your daily affairs. He goes on to remind us that as you practice this kind of awareness, you begin to realize that everything is unfolding for your greater good. And that this mindfulness practice is actually changing your approach to everything for the better. As you begin to focus on that which is beautiful, appealing, significant, and quality within yourself. Oh, and incidentally, Dr. David calls that praying without ceasing. You see, the very thought of directed thinking, the tendency of your thought, your focus, is actually a prayer. And especially when you are putting that in the present tense and you are putting that in the I, this is what I, this is who I, this is how I. It's not only taking responsibility for it, but it's taking credit for it. Spirit by means of me expressing. So I have 2 mindfulness exercises for you this week. The first is on observation. And you can do this one as you go through your week. At home, at the beach, on your daily walk, or wherever you can be still for a few moments. You see, I'm hedging my bet and I'm saying a few moments. And you get to determine how many a few is for you. This simple exercise connects us with the beauty of the environment around us. And I'm sure many of you have done this before. It's what I call my walking meditation. So here it is. Choose a natural object from within the immediate environment of wherever you have chosen to do this. Simply focus on watching it for a moment or two, or however long you find yourself engrossed in it. And don't do anything except notice the thing you're looking at. A flower, a tree, a cloud, an insect, whatever. Look at it as if you are seeing it for the very first time. And then explore every aspect of its formation. Be consumed by its presence. Allow yourself to connect with its energy, its role, its purpose in the world. You may, if you wish, after you get back home or to your office or to your car, make some notes of your observations. Allow that to be your journaling for the day if you choose. Just do it while these observations are still fresh in your memory. The second exercise is on awareness. And this also is to be done during the coming week. 2 sets of homework. It's a good thing there's 24 hours in each day, yes? Okay. So we'll take a few moments now to set the tone for you to follow through on where this is concerned during the week. This exercise cultivates a heightened awareness and appreciation of simple daily tasks and the results they achieve. So begin to think of those things that happen every day, more than once in your life. Things that you take for granted. You know, things like opening a door, turning on your computer, cooking food, or smelling it cooking as someone else prepares it. And the dozens of other tasks, activities that you do so routinely that they're virtually done automatically. But this week, do them mindfully, consciously, with your full awareness as you do them. Be mindful of where you are in the moment, what action you're taking, the results of the action you're taking. Be appreciative of the minds and the hands that created and produced what you're focusing on in that moment. This is known as cultivating purposeful awareness of what you are doing in the present moment and the blessings that it brings to your life. So Julie, in today's daily guide, concludes by saying, when we live by the sacred attributes we observe and become aware of, we promote an integration of mind, heart, body, and spirit. We live from wholeness. When we find ourselves giving of those sacred attributes, like peace, fairness, integrity, tranquility, we see that we have recognized, accepted, and expanded them within ourselves, so that we can now express them at the conscious level. What a lovely way to begin each day, isn't it? Bringing our full awareness to recognizing and acceptance of all the beautiful, appealing, significant attributes of spirit expressing as yourself. And what an easy way to be here now, to perform simple acts of self-love by observing and being aware of those sacred attributes within. And so it is.
So it is. Well, we'll all be finding mindful exercises to do this week.